Hey, everybody, it's Linda G and Sterling.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. So it's overcast here. Is it overcast there too in LA?
It's not. It's just, kind of humid. The weather's changing all around. So it's
Right.
kind of hot and a little.
It's kind of humid, but it's like cloudy. So, okay.
Yeah, to be expected.
So we got good questions. Thank you to Linda and Dan.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Linda.
Okay. From the other side, does Notre Dame have a message for us?
He does. And let me give you a quick footnote, because some people ask how these people come up into the list of questions. And we pull those from people during the week. So people during the week will say, can you bring this person through? And I'll look to see who wants to come through. So I predicate that. When I talked to Nostradamus yesterday, one of the key things he was telling me, I've heard this before, he did hundreds of quatrains, but the quatrains, some people associate some of the quatrains he did with the end of the world, like there's going to be the end of the world coming up. And he was making very clear to me that it's all in humankind's hands or mankind's hands, that we actually have the power to turn all this around. So he said, please, Sterling, just make it clear that my quatrains weren't pointing to the end of the world, just at a time that we'd have to take things very serious and rise up. Right. So that's the time we're going through right now, is whether it's politically or has to do with global warming or all sorts of things going on. We have to really get on top of it to make sure we have the kind of plant in the world we want. So that was the biggest thing he wanted to get across.
Right. It does have kind of an interworld feeling.
It does, but yeah. It's a time of great change too. So
my question is, who will control the House and Senate in 2022?
I've read on this several times, but it does appear that the Democrats hold on to the House and Senate. But I got to tell you, it's going to be a bloody schoolyard fight. So it's going to be one of those things where every last vote and every bit of cheating, and it'll take a little bit of time for it to all settle out. They'll hold on to it, but it's just going to be, it's going to be a repeat of a lot of the shenanigans we saw.
Right. And I almost feel like they're going to say, no, that person doesn't win. And then if it goes to the Supreme Court, believe it or not, Supreme Court will vote on behalf. No, you can't take away what people voted for. Just right. Like what that state that decided that they wanted extended Medi-Cal. Mm-hmm. And then the governor and the House said, nah, we don't want to give it to you. Right. And they took them before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, so Supreme Court is great, figuratively, in terms of being a backstop, if you will, for a lot of the
especially
things going on. Yeah,
when the people vote.
Right.
Okay, are these Tennessee and Florida anti-mask protesting parents genuine, or are they paid trolls?
And that's the anti-vaxxer vaccine. Yeah. What I get on that is a lot of that is actually coming from passion. So that's actually like hearing the lies, drinking the Kool-Aid, and it's passion. It's not that there's money changing hands. So right. If you drink the Kool-Aid enough and you combine that with enough passion, that's what's driving it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't tell us. You can't. It's always been like that. You can't tell us we can't have our guns over our dead body. Nobody's saying that.
Right. Right.
So was Mike Bloomberg involved in any way in Cuomo's downfall? Did they not get along?
I don't get Mike Bloomberg was involved in Cuomo's downfall. What I do get is that behind the scenes, Mike Bloomberg was trying to ensure that we didn't get like a radical GOP, candidate in there. So I believe he was trying to bolster up Cuomo to some extent and just prevent some kind of a radical Republican getting in. So I think the question was he behind his downfall? They're telling me no. Yeah.
Okay. Will our democracy be threatened again? Will it survive the next 50 years?
Yeah, and this gets back to Nostradamus, right? This is a time that we're all going to rise up during the next 3 decades. I know it said 50 years there, but my guides and angels keep telling me the 3 decades ahead of us are the most important. And the answer is yes, democracy will survive, but it's a little bit of, what we went through in some of the olden times of fighting for our rights and liberties. So yeah, it's going to survive, but everybody's got to rise up.
Okay. Okay, will all or any be charged, fined, or barred from ever holding public office again for aiding and abetting the crimes against all of us in the last administration?
That question covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, I guess will anybody pay like Meadows and those people?
Yeah. No, absolutely. What I see is that as a basis of this January 6th commission report, it's going to lay the groundwork for a lot of litigation and indictments. So it's going to be like a roadmap, and that roadmap will then lead to a number of people not being able to participate. It looks to me like a lot of people that were close to the 45 inner circle around the White House will be the first to kind of get stopped and barred from running again.
Okay.
But then the tentacles are going to go out to other federal agencies that were also in cahoots. So, yeah.
Wow. Please tell us what you can about near and distant future for Mark Meadows and Jeffrey Clark. Almost the same thing.
Yeah, obviously, Assistant Attorney General and Chief of Staff. Yeah, they're the answer is the same as like for the previous question. They'll be called out in that January 6th commission report. So yeah, they'll pay the consequences. Yeah.
Okay. Do spirit guides ever give us wrong or inaccurate information about future events?
Only when it comes to the lottery.
Ah. Edgar Casey could never get money off of his.
Yeah. No, interesting enough, they don't. My experience is that they never give you incorrect information. They do hold back on information if they think it would prevent a life lesson for you. So they'll never prevent you from learning a life lesson.
Okay.
So I get this a lot with, sometimes people ask about love life, right? And they'll say, gee, I really want to know exactly when I'm going to meet that right person. And, if you were to tell them it's 3 years out at the Starbucks at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on each corner, there's a lot of learning and experience they would probably put off over the next 3-year period. So they just hold back if there's a life lesson involved. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. What will happen with the Delta and Lambda variants? Will it get worse as the year goes on?
Yeah, so a number of moving parts here. The Delta variant, we haven't reached the peak yet. And for me, we're going to reach the peak between now and the end of the year. It's like September, October kind of a time frame. It'll start to kind of move down as we get towards the end of the year and then into January. And I do see boosters coming from a lot of the vaccine manufacturers, and that's going to help with the Lambda version. Now, so that's going to help kind of hold the Lambda variant at bay a little bit, some of these boosters. And as we get out into next year, there'll be new vaccine versions or modifications that will then address the Lambda. So there's a couple of things going on here. Delta being very severe this year, and then moving out into Lambda. But so everybody has to be careful through the end of this year into January, obviously with Delta and the things in the vaccines we have right now.
Okay. I know there won't be a cure, but would there ever be some kind of medication besides antidepressants to relieve the obsessive compulsive disorders such as OCD and BDD?
I do get that, yeah. For me, it seems to always come up around some sort of an electrical stimulus technique, something involving the wrists and the arms, and then maybe something, that electrode that goes up on your head. But there's some sort of an electrical treatment that then helps rewire the brain. So it's kind of like misfiring neurons and a rewiring of the brain a little bit. That's coming up over the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah, there will be. Yeah.
Greg Abbott, Texas governor, is acting like a dictator. When will someone step in and stop him? Will the US DOJ step in on his voting restrictions?
For me, what I get on that, it has a lot more to do with when the For the People Act is going to get passed. So I see that that getting passed out into next year, 2022. And so it looks to me like when that gets passed, that's going to nullify a lot of Abbott, a lot of things he's doing. So I think the way the person asked that question, they think, is there somebody that's going to step in, or a person? Looks like the act, the HR 1.
2022, are you picking up that he'll be voted out then?
Well, it looks like whatever he's doing, I'm interpreting the question maybe differently, that is someone going to stop him while he's still in office? And I just see the For the People Act nullifying a lot of the things he's going to be doing, but that gets passed in the next year.
Okay.
And then it looks to me like he does not get reelected. No. Yeah.
How would the first wave of aliens make their presence known to the public? Would it be similar to the movies?
And I guess that question depends on which movie they're referring to. Okay, I've always seen that the way that it's going to get rolled out is in conjunction with world leaders. So initially, there'll be an introduction through world leaders all around the world, and that'll start off some of the communications and laying out some of the programs that they'll be helpful with. So that's how it's going to happen. Yeah.
Does a soul ever reach a level so high that our loved ones, stop coming around us because it just doesn't matter anymore?
Interesting question. Yeah. No, never the case, because if they're your loved ones, they're part of your extended spiritual family, and that's all based on supreme love, and they do stay around you. So yeah, there's no truth to that question. Yeah.
Okay. A new female governor, Kathy Hochul, who's a Democrat, has been appointed to replace Cuomo. What do you see regarding how good she will be?
I think that's, Hochul, is her name. Hochul?
Is that how you pronounce it, Hochul? Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just remembering who we're talking about here. Yeah, what I get on her is that she's going to be pretty level-headed the way she attacks the office. Although she and Cuomo didn't really spend a lot of time together, they had some personality, but it looks to me like she's pretty level-headed, and she's really going to kind of reduce a lot of the drama around the governor and the governor's mansion, and actually going to be pretty good for New York. So I get a lot of positive signs from her, and that she's going to be good at team building. Yeah. Good.
Will Kamala Harris be successful VP this term? Is she getting full support from the Dems, both in Congress and the Senate?
What I get on that is that a couple of things, that she's working pretty hard behind the scenes around all the, the border things and the immigration, all the immigration problems that we've had on policy, and kind of retrofitting some of the older policies. But what I also get, interesting enough, in a good way, it's almost like Biden asked her to stand down just for the time being, while he was kind of addressing the pandemic and the infrastructure bill. Like, kind of stand down. We don't need all the immigration stuff right now at the border. I got to get the infrastructure done and the pandemic taken care of, and then. So I do get she's getting support, and I get it's all about timing when she'll roll out her new policies. Yeah, it's going well for her.
Awesome. That's great. I have identical twin daughters who were born on the same date, 1 minute apart. They were raised in the same household and were in the same grade school and classrooms. In spite of that, they couldn't be more different. It's been that way since day one. From an astrological standpoint, how is that possible?
Well, this speaks to the fact that your life path and your life blueprint drives what happens down here. So in that effect, I guess the way the question is being asked, astrology maps to that, but astrology doesn't drive your life path blueprint does. So that doesn't surprise me, actually. It sounds like somebody trying to fit astrological timing with a life blueprint. And it's the other way around. You have to fit the life blueprint with astrology. So another way of looking at it, your life path drives your life. Astrology doesn't drive your life path.
Okay. Can you tell us if the Dems will get it together to make the outcome of the census fair to all Americans and prevent the Republicans from manipulating it for their self-serve benefit?
Yeah. I think I missed the first part of that question. Could you reread that?
If the Dems will ever get it together to make the outcome of the census fair. You know that they stopped the census.
Yeah. No, when I get for that, believe it or not, because that also gets into gerrymandering and the things going on with what the Republicans are doing too. I get that this For the People Act is really going to be very substantive in the way it's going to help with a lot of that. So awesome. I think the census will come out fair. It'll get not redone, but they'll relook at it. But all this For the People Act is going to be very helpful underpinning. Yeah.
That makes sense. Does a soul ever reach a level so high that they or their loved ones stop? Oh, well, that's the same question, but a different, same question. Yeah. Twice. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Well, you and I can't be at fault because somebody else does it.
Linda, let's get him on the phone right now and start the blaming.
What the hell's going on here? Will the U.S. reach 70% vaccinated anytime soon? It's close, I think.
Yeah, for me, that's going to be towards the end of the year. But, the important thing about that is that really the best minds now are saying we got to get closer to 80% to get closer to herd immunity. So, while that may seem like an interesting goal, and for me, it's going to be towards the end of the year, we really have to get towards 80, and that's going to start getting out to next year. So,
okay. Will Como run again? Is that how you say his name, Como?
Como, I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. Run again for some kind of office.
I get 100%. Yeah.
He's going to run again?
Well, probably won't run for governor again. He's never for governor, but he will run for another political office.
Oh, wow.
That's my interpretation of the question. Will he run in general for something?
Yeah. He's got like a big war chest. Yeah,
because what I get is he's, once all this simmers down, and there'll be some, he'll get disciplined. There's some things going on here, but when all the dust settles, he will run for another political office.
Right. I see a lawsuit going through too, at least one.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, I see 3 or 4.
Yeah, I see the lawsuits, and it didn't surprise me that they dropped that impeaching him. Did not surprise me at all.
Right.
Okay, how can our time of death be in our pre-birth life contract if our lives are largely shaped by free will?
Sorry, and what's the first part of that question again? I think the audio was a little bad.
Time of death be in our pre-birth life contract if we live by free will? Got it.
So here's the thing. You and I have talked about this a lot, but my guides and angels always tell me that free will is not, the definition of free will is not you go helter-skelter and do whatever you want. What happens is with free will, you can zigzag through your normal life path, and you can accelerate yourself through the life path or deaccelerate, or change the scale at which you affect other people's lives, 10 people, 10,000, 10 million. But that does not mean that it changes, exactly, let's say when you leave the planet. That's all part of your life path. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Will ICE and Border Patrol ever be held responsible for their ongoing crimes and corruption?
What was the first word there? Will who?
Will ICE and
ICE. Got it.
Ever be held accountable?
Yes, absolutely. And that's all part of what I see is what's going on with Kamala Harris right now. So all part of the planning and the program she's putting in place and the path. So that's why the timing is critical for Biden. Like, get these things done first, then we'll roll out everything that happened at the border and go after the people that need to be accountable. Yeah.
Exactly. Will the Dems in Congress fix the Medicare donut hole for Part D?
Yeah, and that's that thing where you have out of pocket up to a certain point, right, in Medicare, and then once you get past that point, then they cover like 95% of right, like major medical. Yeah, that looks like it's all part of what's going to come up next year in 2022 with some proposals that Biden has. So it looks like that'll be addressed, but it's more like next year they'll come up with something that helps. It will reduce the size of the donut hole. Won't eliminate it.
Okay. When we pass and our family greets us, are our dogs there too at the same time with our parents, ? Will we meet our ancestor we've never known? Will we meet our spirit guides face to face? Can our spirit guides be our relatives, as in my great Aunt Nellie, who was a spiritualist back in the 1920s and 30s? A lot of questions there.
Yeah, well, the answers are yes, 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 yes.
Yes, that's what I was saying. The dogs are there with your family, and the dogs are always there. And cats.
All the pets are always part of our extended spiritual family.
Yeah. And will we meet our ancestors? Absolutely, yes. And our spirit guides, absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
And can the spirit guides be our relatives, as in my great Aunt Nellie?
Of course.
They can be.
Yeah. Oh, sure. No, wait. Maybe I misunderstood the question. Can one of your spirit guides be
relatives?
No, I never encounter that. I always encounter spiritual guides as being very separate, going
Very
back thousands
separate
of
and
years.
already joined in from the beginning.
Right.
But they can come around. I've even seen people that didn't even know and found out later, thanks to me, they had a little sister that never made it or something. And the family didn't talk about it. And I'll say, there's a girl here that says she's your sister. And they'll follow sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you see anything coming up next week?
I do. You know, what they're telling me and showing me here is I do see some more leaked memorandums, or let's call it like paperwork coming like from the DOJ or the White House. I see some leaks around paperwork.
Yeah.
I also see more turmoil around the January 6th commission. I do see some like public fights over whether it's, you know, constitutional or this. I see some people coming out to try to slam it while more testifying goes on. I do see a lot of that happening. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of earthquakes still continuing, which we all know.
We're gonna have some big ones. Yep.
The earthquakes are coming. They're ramping up, and so are the fires, right? So,
right.
You know, this is just a time right now. This year and where we're at is a cleansing year. There's a lot going on.
I'm sure this has happened before, Sterling, but I've seen between the Philippines, the South Sandwich Islands, and Haiti, I've seen 7, 8s down to 6s, back to back to back to back to back, even up in Alaska.
Right, and I think a lot of it's following what they call the ring of fire.
Yeah.
There's like a ring of underground volcanoes. It's kind of the way it rolls around the world. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, while I have you here, I want to throw this out to you real quick. If you don't get
By the way,
let me know.
Sorry, they just told me one other thing coming up this week. Some sort of an advancement around the vaccines. Either it's like prominent results or things coming for 5 to 12-year-olds, people under 12 for the vaccine.
Okay.
Some sort of an announcement coming out here of like success on some tests. It's not going to be the full approval, but it feels like they're going to make some progress. It's going to be announced this week, some of the progress.
Okay. I wanted to ask you too, Durham is coming back with his report.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to get some FBI in trouble. It's not going to be the full Monte like they were hoping. I'm going to tell you that right now. Mm-hmm. Are you picking anything up that Durham picked? Remember, we kept feeling like nothing burger.
It feels like that report is somehow very diluted. Like there's something where they couldn't get all the information. Something is just like, let's put it this way, doesn't have the teeth in it. Doesn't have the teeth.
That's what Trump was holding on to, hoping that would help, you know, do something about his Hunter Biden and all that. And I say it's a nothing burger.
Yeah, and that's for me. They're telling me it doesn't have the teeth in it, which is kind of like a nothing burger, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, do you have any information that your guides want to share?
Yeah, this is a general message for the kind of times we're in right now, but they're saying, please be kind to others, even though others appear to be bent on self-destruction. So kind of move through your own truth, but still be kind to others. So, you know, they say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them float on their back, right?
Right.
So, you know, be kind to others and move in your truth and allow the universe to kind of take its plan. So.
Yeah, we got it, because that, you know, a house divided cannot stand. And that's where we are right now, just as bad as the Civil War with all this anger and energy. But the more we can separate ourselves from that energetically, even the ones I read, the crazy women talking at the school committee, you can't tell my children what to wear a mask and blah, blah, blah. This virus has got a thing in it that's going to, all of you are going to die. You have to give them peace. You have to say, they know not what they do. Please forgive them.
That's very true. You probably saw that school board session was all over the news, but that one lady that said, I don't want my child to wear a mask because it limits their growth, because it limits their oxygen. Did you see that?
No,
And then I think one of the commentators on the news said, so I guess Halloween's out then, no masks on Halloween, because that'll limit your oxygen. So yeah.
There you go. There you go. Well, my friend, so how do people reach you to schedule it?
Right. Thanks for bringing that up. The easiest way to get in contact with me for a session is just sterlingpsychicmedium.com, and then just look for the book online tab. The calendar is always up to date. Easy way to book a session. Yeah.
Awesome, my friend. Another lovely Sunday. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
You got it. All the best. Thanks.
Bye, you guys.